Hey, beautiful friends. This is Sarah Blumenfeld, host of Networking Done Different. Thanks for listening. I'm joined today by my dear friend and kindred spirit, Dr. Lola Scarborough, owner of the Health Hut in League City. Welcome, Lola.
Hey, Sarah. It's good to be here with you today.
Thank you so much. So Lola has a wealth of information and ways that she helps people, and I'm delighted to have her share some of those with you here today. First of all, Lola, how did the Health Hut get started?
Well, my grandmother was a healer, and when I was about 12, she grabbed my hands and said, "You've got hot hands." And so she put me right to work. So it started there, and then later through a series of crises, personal crises, I came to yoga and meditation. And then about 17 years ago, I quit my full-time job in corporate America as a project manager and continued educating myself and became the full-time manager of the Health Hut, which used to be Yoga Lola Studios, but we changed the name right after COVID.
Okay, awesome. And what is your PhD in?
Comparative religion. I love studying all the different spiritual traditions. I love delving into them. I love looking at the differences, but oddly enough, there are more similarities when you really dig down into it than there are differences. It's pretty amazing
Wow.
how consistent it is.
Yeah. If people realize that, there'd probably be less fighting.
There would definitely be less fighting. There'd be more getting along, and the realization there is only one source, but many paths that lead to that source, and love is the way to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really what your whole practice is built around, right?
It is, yeah. That love is the way. That doesn't mean you don't have feelings and emotions and conflicts and struggles and trauma and suffering. You do as part of the path. But,
Right.
Always going back to love is the magic carpet ride to take you there.
I love that. I know there are many different ways that you help people, so let's dive into that. Start with Reiki. Can you tell us what that is and how you use that to help people in your practice?
Sure. Reiki is a universal energy, and you can kind of classify Reiki along with all of the other energy body work. Um, and there's all this energy that's swirling around up there, and there's lots of it. And so you say, "Hey, universe, can I have some of that?" And the universe says, "Sure, sure." And so you take it down here, and then the person laying on the table says, "Hey, Lola, can I have some of that?" And I say, "Sure, sure." And then I transfer it. And it's an amazing process. I have seen profound physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual changes happen as a result of doing energy body work. And I work with children, I work with pets, I work with individuals, and I also work with couples.
So when you work with children, what do they primarily come in asking you to help them with?
Well, I'll classify children as being under 12.
Okay.
Typically, the parents bring them in because there's some kind of issue, like the child is having night terrors, or the child is really super sensitive to energies, where they're afraid to go to sleep. Or they're acting out. There's a lot of anger, a lot of rage,
Okay.
a lot of stress in the family. So I've worked with all of those different things. Or a child is just sad.
Oh.
So they come in, and when they're younger, the way I do the session is a lot different. I have them get up on the table, and I'll hold their feet, and then I'll hold their hands, and then I'll rub their head. And I kind of chat with them. They love, love, love the sessions. I've had such good luck with it. And it's very calming and non-threatening. I was the oldest of 8 kids, and then I had a couple of my own. So I've been around children a whole lot
Right.
and just love them.
Oh, what a gift that is.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a gift to me to get to work with people. When I come out of the sessions, I always tell people, "Thank you for your
Mm.
trust in me." And it's like I'm doing a meditation. It's so meditative to go there, get in the zone, connect with the energy, share the energy, see the changes and see people's breathing relax, feel their body tension release. And people have all different kinds of experiences when they're doing the work.
Yeah. I think it's important for people to understand that when they have sought out energy work, actually they're requesting these particular energies, and you're not asserting anything right into their world. They are requesting it and receiving it.
Exactly. Well, the energy is always out there, just like the angels are always out there.
Right.
You just have to ask for it.
Right.
And when you ask for it, you receive it, because I don't do the healing. The energy just passes through me and goes to the person on the table, and the person's own psyche, their own body energy, and their own mental energy is what heals them. They've just asked for it, and ask and ye shall receive.
Right.
But ask not and get not, right?
Right. Well, and you're that like focusing mechanism, right? You're focusing that energy for them, like, here, you can have this. And they're like, oh, really? Okay.
Right. I mean, in a different kind of way, it's like going to a restaurant and ordering from a menu.
Mm,
You come in and you say, okay, I want this food to be served to me. So
yeah.
the food is then served to you. The same thing is true with energy. I want this energy to serve me. And
Mm.
that's why I'm here. And the universe goes, sure. And I go, sure. And then it just happens.
Tell us a little about your work with couples using Reiki.
That has been a really profound experience. I have seen couples who have been going through a lot of life changes or stress and trauma in the relationship for various reasons come in. And I want to say this: you keep your clothes on the whole time. I've had people come in and say, do we take our clothes off? And I'm like, no, it's not that kind of a session. Oh, that's somewhere else.
Right.
But so they get on the table, the couple does, and I set up a big bed, and um, I there are roses on each pillow and some chocolate, so I make it special, and the music is beautiful. So they get up on the table and then they spoon, because I want the couples to connect chakra to chakra
Mm-hmm.
and to remove any distance between them. And then I have a certain process that I use where I work through the energy of each energy center to release and then repair any frayed bonds between the two. And I have seen marriages turn around as a result of doing the work. So it's
Wow.
pretty incredible. Love
That's,
doing.
yeah. Wow, that's amazing. So anyone who's thinking about going through a divorce should see you first.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, they will leave in a much calmer state with each other, in a more forgiving and compassionate state, and be a
Mm-hmm.
little more open to working with each other. And
Yeah.
it's really an incredible tool for transforming pain and suffering in a relationship into something, a vehicle that can be used for further growth as a couple.
Yeah. Is Reiki something that you come in and do one time, or is it like you come in every month, or how does that work?
It depends on what's going on. If someone is really ill or they've gone through a lot of traumatic shocks, um, just depending on the situation, I
Okay.
might recommend 4 or 5 sessions, sometimes more. It depends on the extent of what they've gone through. But for most people who are healthy, who are just, they're having life's usual irritations, I tell them to think of it like going to get your teeth cleaned. Schedule your teeth cleaning and then schedule your energy healing, because it's like cleaning your energy. It's like you go, you get your teeth cleaned twice a year, come in twice a year, clean your energy, reset your psyche, revibrate your organs, and heck, you're good for another 6 months.
Nice. That's awesome. What other types of energy work do you do?
Well, I do some work with pendulums. I also do house clearings. I go in, and if there are things that go bump in the night and you want me to like bump them out the door, I help with that. Um,
I love your analogies of things.
I have a very
Get
twisted sense
out.
of humor. I do things called intuitive aromatherapy readings where I have this
Oh,
amazing book that I work with, and clients come in and we pray over the book that it's about this thick, and then I do a blind reading of the oils that they need to kind of recalibrate the energy in the universe and clear out whatever's going on for them. And those things are profound. I mean, we've had revelations in there that just give you pure chill bumps.
oh
And
wow.
so it's really cool when you allow spirit to guide you. Um, I just don't even know how to put into words the magnitude of the wealth of information that's available to
Yeah.
share with people. I'm limited, you know, I've got this much brain space and it's shrinking every day. But if I open up the universe, I call it the supra consciousness, the super
Mhm.
consciousness out there knows everything already. And if you can just open yourself up and relax yourself so that that information can come through, there's
Yeah.
so much you can do to help yourself, that you can do to help other people, other beings. It's
Hmm.
just absolutely limitless.
And I'm sure you use that same intuitive gift with your coaching as well.
I do. And that's another thing that I love doing is life coaching. So I bring a lot of different elements into the life coaching, you know, common sense. Um, and I use astrology, I use the Enneagram, I use different tools
Hmm.
to help people kind of reopen and look at themselves from a different perspective. And my belief when I coach is that you're not broken. None of us are broken. We're here being exactly who it is we came here to be. We need the ladder to get over the wall. And so when I work with people, I'm the ladder because I come with all of these different tools that we can then work through, find what fits for that person because everyone is different. And then they take that ladder. They don't even have to catapult. You know, all they have to do is climb the ladder and go down the wall. And so, yes, whenever I'm doing life coaching, the intuitive work that I do as a natural result of who I am
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
kind of shows up in the life coaching sessions as well.
Yeah. So when is a good time for people to seek out life coaching? When they feel stuck or have a certain problem they can't get over?
I would say whenever they feel stuck, like, you know, I'm not a therapist. That's not the kind of work I do.
Hmm.
The work I do is you come to me and you can, let's say you have depression, non-clinical depression, and you just can't seem to get yourself up, to
Yeah.
get yourself moving, or you're having serious anxiety attacks. Again, you may or may not be working with a therapist or a doctor because you can use life coaching even when you are working with a doctor or a therapist to further
Hmm.
help you. And I have a couple of clients that I'm working with that way.
Okay.
Um, but I can teach you breathing techniques that can calm down the depression, that can calm down the anxiety, that can calm down the stress. And
Hmm.
once we do that, it's a lot easier to move forward on something that you're stuck on. I mean, I've worked with people, they come in and the first 5 sessions, all they do is cry. By the 10th session, they're up, they're moving, they're beginning to accomplish their goals. So, coaching, unlike Reiki, life coaching is typically more of a long-term commitment. It has happened that a couple sessions move someone forward from where they were stuck. But
Okay.
really and truly, if you are working on yourself, trying to move past something, you can plan on it taking a minimum of 4 to 8 sessions, just depending on what the issue is. But yeah, it's about getting unstuck. It's about seeing yourself from a different perspective. It's
Hmm.
about looking at your problems in a different way.
Yeah.
And it seems that I have frozen again. Oh, wait, no, there we go.
And now you're back.
Sorry about
We're
that.
gonna keep going. To our dear friends who are watching, this is like our fourth take on this. So we had all these freezing up problems. So we're gonna keep going unless it
We're
gets
going to
really,
plow
really bad.
through.
Because because that's how life is, friends.
It is. Sometimes you get frozen, and we're talking about life coaching. Maybe that's what it is. If you're frozen, just wait for that video to straighten out and keep going.
There you go. Another analogy handed to you by the universe. How's it get better? I know that you're trained also in, see if I say this right, Ayurvedic medicine, or not medicine, you say it for me.
So Ayurveda.
Ayurveda. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Ayurveda is the Indian system of wellness care. Its depth is unbelievable. People really just skim the surface of it in the US because it can't be practiced here the way it's practiced in India.
Okay.
And in India, a lot of times doctors will cross train in both Western traditional medicine and in Ayurveda. So they come with a full toolkit, right? So it's pretty profound stuff. But I've been to India 6 times. I studied Ayurveda in an Ayurveda hospital there and worked with clients for about 3 weeks in an internship. And then I have a 2-year degree in it. And so Ayurveda believes everyone is an individual, that one size does not ever fit all. But that the root cause of illness and disease begins in the gut. 99% of everything begins in the gut. So addressing the diet becomes of primary importance. And one thing you learn really fast when you work with people using Ayurveda is people would rather, leave their home with, all their belongings on their back and change their diet.
Yeah.
So it's a real challenge for people when they come into work with me on Ayurveda, because people have food patterns that are so deeply ingrained through tradition, through all different kinds of routes. People have connected with their diets, and it's hard to get them to let go of it. But your food can either cure you or kill you. It
Yeah.
really can. Food can be poisonous. It can be the toxin that takes you down. So, but Ayurveda also works with yoga. Yoga and Ayurveda are sisters. They live
Okay.
together. So a lot of times when I'm working with someone doing Ayurveda, we're working not only from the perspective of diet, but we're also working from the perspective of yoga. So doing breathing exercises to adjust the airs in the body, doing physical exercises to help adjust the metabolism, as well as food and herbs, is the quintessential bedrock of Ayurveda.
It seems to me that when you were talking about the life coaching, and say someone comes in with depression, diet can have a real impact on that as well, correct?
Absolutely. Diet is tied to everything that happens to us. You are what you eat. And that's the truth. What you eat becomes your blood, it becomes your tissue, it becomes your muscle, it becomes your brain power.
Yeah.
It is just, you can't get away from it.
Right. So what you're offering here to me seems like a much more complete package than many others can offer, because you have all this training and these different modalities that work together so beautifully.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. I feel like that is the case. I feel like that I have so many years of education and so many things, but they all fit together in one big package, and one thing just builds on the other. And
Yeah.
I am about to finish my certification in astrology. I've been
wow.
doing astrology with clients for, I don't know, maybe 20 years. But I've never formalized my education. And so, it's humbling. Astrology is another one of those
Oh,
things. And I
it's
know
huge.
nothing about astronomy.
I've tried to understand astrology, and I understand this much.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
just so big. It's like
yeah,
Ayurveda, it's like yoga. It's just so big.
yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it, and I know nothing truly about astronomy, so I'm having to learn. That's really for me the biggest learning curve in the whole astrology thing, and it's vast.
Wow.
And you get into ancient Greek and Roman literature and how that ties into all of the different archetypes archetypes that are represented by the wheel in astrology.
Mm-hmm.
And I found astrology to be an eye-opener when I came to it again through trauma and stress, just trying to figure out, well, who am I? I'm so confused about who I am. I'm so lost. Who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And I found when I did my natal chart that it really helped me, oh, okay, kind of reestablish what I was and what I wasn't. It helped me root down. So when I work with people, that's what I use astrology for. I'm like, look, you're not broken. Here
Mm-hmm.
you are in this paragraph. Here
Yeah.
you are in the natal chart, in this spot. This is who you are. This is who you came here to be. You're not broken. You just need the right tools to orient yourself so that you can be the best that you came here to be. And so to me, astrology helps you open up, look at your challenges, look at your gifts, and kind of put that blame and shame to the side.
Mm.
That feeling of I'm not enough, I'm broken. Well, no, you're not. There is a roadmap. Here you are. I can show you
Yeah.
in the natal chart. So that's why I love it.
Nice. You wrote a book. Well, you've written several books, but your most recent book is
It
called,
is
let me get it
right
right.
here.
Look, she has, I love that picture so much.
Thank you.
It's such a great cover.
I
Super,
love walking barefoot in the dirt.
yeah, supernatural health, supernatural wellness, simple methods for holistic living. So I bought this book as soon as I found out that it was out there.
Thank you, Sarah.
It is really delightful. So tell us a little bit about why you wrote that book and what it's about.
Well, I work with a lot of people who have never really been exposed to alternate modalities.
Mm-hmm.
And so they come in and I'll start trying to talk to them, and it's kind of like a fire hose, right? There's so much that you can do. And they're like, what? So
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put it all in a book, and then I can just hand the book to people and I can say, flip through this. In addition to what you're doing with me, do you see other things here that kind of
Mm-hmm.
resonate with you? There are so many things you can do that
Yeah.
are inexpensive or that are free or that are self-administered, like breath work, like going outside and walking barefoot on the earth. I mean, that's free.
Yeah.
And you walk barefoot on the earth, you charge your electromagnetic field. One of the things that I believe, and many others that kind of do the same sort of work I do, also believe, is that because we wear shoes all the time, one of the reasons our electromagnetic fields get so weak and we get sick so often is because we're not bringing the energy from the earth up into our feet.
Yeah.
We also used to sleep on the ground,
Mm.
and in many cultures they still do sleep on the ground.
Yeah.
So all that electromagnetic recharging that comes from the earth, we have separated ourselves from it. So
Yeah.
taking your shoes off, walking barefoot, laying on your back in the grass, recharging. I mean,
Mm.
some Native American traditions, if someone is sick, they will dig a hole in the earth and then they will put the ill person in the hole, and they'll sing songs and do prayers over them as a way of healing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. I digress. I
Beautiful.
do that a lot. Anyone who's ever taken any of my courses, I'm like, woo, there she goes again. Woo, there
Well,
she goes
the book
again.
it's a wonderful resource because it does give enough about so many different modalities that you can read through it and go, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. And then you can do some further research and find someone who can assist you with that. And it opens up a whole new world. I know when I first got into the healing metaphysical world back in, I don't know, when was it, 2010, when Steve had cancer, I was like, whoa. The more you learn, the more there is. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's such a treasure trove.
Well, thank you for getting the book and reading it and sharing your response to the book with
Yeah, yeah.
with
So it's
me. I really
available on
appreciate it.
Amazon, everybody.
It is. Yeah. Or at my crystal store, Crystals and More, a metaphysical store.
So let me ask you one question about something specific in the book that I was like, I've never heard that before. And then we'll talk about the crystal store. So you were talking about hydration and water and what the use is around meals and the temperature it should be. And it was different than I had heard before. Could you just briefly share that?
Yeah. So the way I treat water is the same way I treat food. Anything that you put into your body has to be digested, and then it has to be assimilated throughout the entire body system.
Mm-hmm.
With water, especially tap water, the molecules.
Don't drink tap water.
Yeah, don't drink tap water. That it's not even alive anymore, and the molecules in the water have been so distorted that the body doesn't even really recognize what it is.
Yeah.
But I'll talk first about water temperature. And in Ayurveda, as well as in traditional Chinese medicine, cold harms the fire in the stomach. So when you drink anything that's cold, now I'm not saying don't go out and have that margarita every now and again, right? But just don't eat with it, because what happens is when you ingest anything cold, it kills the fire in the stomach. So if you think of trying to cook food when there's no fire, you can't warm it up. So when you drink something that's cold, you put the fire out in your stomach. So the food that you're eating can't digest properly. Very little of it will digest. And you've heard of leaky gut syndrome, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this greatly contributes to leaky gut syndrome and to the inability to assimilate the nutrients of the food that you've eaten. So the food goes there, it sits on top of something that's cold or wet, and I'll talk about a minute the proper use of drinking water while you're eating, and it can't digest. So the food that you just ate that should be nutritious becomes nothing but toxic because it can't break up properly. And then you get big molecules of food that go through. Anyhow, it creates all kinds of inflammation and disease. So when you want to consume fluid with your meal, it should be tepid or even better yet, warm. So hence, the use of drinking hot tea while you're eating, or we always get hot water when we go out. So any restaurants that we frequent just show up with the hot water. So
and they're like,
drinking,
these people are strange. I don't understand why they're doing.
Yeah. Unless you go into an Indian restaurant and then they say they come with the hot water and they'll say, "Do you do yoga?" Say no. But it's been known for a long time that cold harms the digestibility of the stomach.
Wow.
So a lot of people have been told, okay, drink a ton of water before you eat to kill your appetite, right? So people will drink a lot of water before they sit down to eat. The same thing is true. You have put the fire out in the gut. The food cannot digest. And so again, instead of being nutritive, it becomes toxic. So when you, in Ayurveda, they say not to drink much water 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after a meal. But it's absolutely okay to sip warm fluids like soup or hot water or hot tea, sipping it, not gulping it while you're eating. But it is absolutely toxic to down big glasses of iced tea, big glasses of water with ice.
And this is if you go to a restaurant, this is what they bring you.
Yeah. Well, that's the American
hamburger and your French fries.
Yeah. I told people, think about your poor digestion. It used to, our food sources were very simple, but now you go and you get a hamburger. So you've got everything that's in the hamburger bun, flour, eggs, God only knows what else. Then you've got the hamburger that comes not from one source, but maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 different cows that all got ground up together. Then you've got mayonnaise, which has 3 or 4 ingredients. Then you have lettuce. Then you have tomato. Then you have bacon. Then you have cheese. And it's like your stomach goes, oh, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
So, and there's, again, in Ayurveda, there are food rules. And I think I've frozen yet again.
That
And
was
I'm
that was so
there,
fun.
I'm
That was
back.
so funny. It's just such the perfect timing when this happens, because you're talking about, and your body doesn't know what to do with it, and on
It
the
just,
screen you look like like your body's like, let me show you what that's really like.
this is what it looks like. So yeah, in Ayurveda, there are food combining rules where there are certain foods you don't combine together because they can't digest.
Mhm.
And so again, in Ayurveda, it all begins with the diet and the gut.
Wow.
So did I answer your question
You
about the
did.
water?
And it's fantastic, because I guarantee you people listening to this don't know that, because I study a lot of stuff and I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So back to the crystal store. Tell us about that. I love crystals.
Well, we opened that up about 2 years ago, and I'm still building it. But we have some beautiful crystal jewelry and some, you know, I have some bath stuff. My dream is to have an apothecary in by the end of the year. I don't know if I'm going to make it this year, but certainly by next year, where I create and offer my own tinctures and elixirs and other things, because I've done a deep dive study of herbal medicine, both Western herbal medicine or European, really European herbalism,
Mhm.
traditional Chinese medicine herbalism, and of course, Ayurvedic herbalism. So I'm looking
Wow.
forward to doing that. I can't wait.
That's awesome.
That's going to be a part of the crystal store. But yeah, so I do that part-time. I also do a lot of different workshops where we learn how to use crystals. Right now I have one going on about opening your intuition. I do Reiki training. We no longer do yoga teachers training, but we used to do that. And I do lots of other kinds of work.
Wow. Anything else that we have not covered that you would like to share?
I don't think so, Sarah. I think that that pretty much sums it all up.
Okay. I'm checking my notes to see what I wrote down. I think we did cover it. If people would like to, first of all, physically come to the crystal store, or of course, make an appointment and come, where are you physically located? And then what is your website?
We are at 1701 Highway 3 South in League City, Texas. And the website name is a little interesting, so let me spell it out. I went to purchase the website name Be Health Hut, and they wanted an extraordinary amount of money for it, so we became the Health Hut instead.
You
So
just
if
used
you're
the H
looking,
twice, right?
that's right. So if you're looking for us, it's TheHealthHut.com. So it's not the double H, it's not there. There's only one H.
Okay.
And yeah, so everything I offer is there on that website. It's, pretty extensive in terms of, what we offer, when we offer it, and all of that sort of information is there.
Mhm. So the location is just for people that are from the area. It's Highway 3, just south of 96 of League
It
City,
is. Yeah,
Washington.
we're kind of wedged in between 96 and 646 right there on Highway 3. We're in what used to be a house that we converted and then built out into a larger business area.
Mhm, mhm. Well, Lola, thank you so much. This has been just amazing. And I think what you offer to the world is so fantastic. And I'm delighted that we were able to share it here today.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I appreciate you having me. Love you,
Mwah.
girl.
Love you. Thanks, everyone,
Bye.
for listening. If you'd like to be interviewed or have any questions, please email me at networkingdonedifferent@gmail.com. Bye. See you next time.